This is a 30s, mid to late 30s and early 40s dirt track car, also called really a big car. Midgets came along, so they had to distinguish between these 90-inch wheelbase cars, so they were called big cars. But this is about the fuel delivery system that this car uses, and a little tweak that I've done, so I thought I'd explain how this whole thing works. In the Model A, just a gravity feed, that wouldn't work, of course. This is a Model B block, and Model B actually had a engine-driven fuel pump, a little diaphragm pump, and I'm not sure if the folks back in the day used those or not, whether the pressure's too high at high RPMs or not enough flow or whatever, but I've removed that. This is just another crankcase ventilation setup, in addition to the one on the other side, which is the oil fill. There's a catch tank over there. But anyway, another actually interesting little story is what some of the old timers used to use that fuel pump for. They would actually just hook that up to air lines, and they would pump air pressure back to the gas tank, and that was sealed system, and then that would force the fuel up front. And turns out that that's about it would develop about 2 to 3 psi, which is what these are dual Strombergs up here. But having said that, the way these, even if they didn't have that setup, the way this works is there is a hand pump, and again, it's pumping air pressure back to the to a sealed tank system, and you can see that thing's going to seal the tank. And there is a gauge, fuel pressure gauge here, so let me show you how this works. So something is pumping up the pressure. Okay, that pumped up pretty fast because the fuel tank is full. Of course, it's going to lose that pressure pretty fast too. When the tank is half empty, it would take 3 to 4 times that many pumps to get it up there. But at the same token, it would it'd go a number of laps before you had to pump the air back up. So that's the way the thing works. Pretty straightforward. Now there is something that for convenience that I've done, which is perhaps a little interesting, and that is I also put an electric fuel pump on the system. And you've got a choice. Actually, let me zero in here. You can see there's a tall toggle on the left. That's a clipper pneumatic switch that vents the fuel tank. And then the toggle on the front is powered to electric fuel pump. And the way the electric fuel pumps work, which is kind of handy, is it's nothing more than a diaphragm with a check valve or two in the pump. So the fuel, actually, if you put that electric fuel pump in line, the fuel will actually just pass straight through the pump if it's not on. So that's the setup it has here. The pump is actually in the line right now, but the fuel would go right through it. Now, what's kind of interesting is actually back in the day, the one problem they would have with the pressurizing the fuel tank is if there's a leak, fire, some emergency, they've got pressure in the tank and it's forcing gas out somewhere, and that's not a good thing. So the one advantage of this setup actually is if I push this switch, you can hear the pressure release. Now it's vented, okay? And I flip the electric fuel pump on. So now, having done that, let me go ahead here. I'll flip the battery on, flip the fuel on, and let me go ahead and pull the ignition, which is going to turn the fuel pump on. And you should be able to hear that. Of course, the pressure is right up because of the fuel pump. And that's kind of the way it works. It's, and I'll undo that just to show everybody. Okay, don't need the battery on. And I will go ahead and pump that back up again. Here, I guess I have to move these two switches back. And there it goes back up again. So that's the way the thing works, and it might be handy or give somebody some ideas for how to do a setup for their car. And again, the one nice thing about this is you can do it on the fly. If you're going down the road and you just don't want to keep pumping the fuel pressure up, you can just flip the switches and you're done. You just keep going. You can do it while you're moving. Or if somebody has never driven the car before, there's one less thing for them to worry about, because there's a lot going on. And then you can just set it up with the electric fuel pump for them. That's all I got. Thanks.